What's up guys, my name's Rob, this is my shop, and today something a little bit different. I'm going to share some information on a couple of parts that have been getting some interest. Part number one is a transmission mount for this car, that's my little Falcon, and part number two is the bead roller adapter motor for my bead roller that I made, my Chinese bead roller. Got a couple of videos on that. Stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can get these files for free. Okay, so the first part I want to talk about is the transmission mount for my Falcon. Real quick background, if you haven't been following the car, it's a 63.5 Falcon Sprint. It is set up for a 302 and a T5. The mount is for a T5. So let's take a look at the mount here. Okay, here's the transmission mount. This transmission mount's pretty simple. I designed this in CAD and blew the parts out on the plasma table. So this is just, I think this is 3/16 plate, but it consists of 8 main pieces. There's 2 side plates, the mounting plate, so that's 3. These attachment plates, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8 in here on the top part. If you look at the mount, it kind of sits up proud here. Now the file, that's how it's going to be. I left it a little bit large so you could kind of fit this portion up or down or wherever you needed it, but you can always grind those off or leave them there. It doesn't hurt anything. The one thing that is necessary to run this mount is a little bit of modification of the T5 trans. I'm going to show you that, but the reason I went with it that way is so I could get this transmission mount up to the transmission and up to the car without anything hanging down and maintaining the geometry of the transmission. And this side, I've got one hole and it's slotted on this side. You know what they say, if you can't make it perfect, make it adjustable. So this one's adjustable. This little critter right there, you see that was my mistake on the plasma table. So the files are going to be available. You are going to be responsible for coming up with the tool paths and the cut files. I'm just going to be providing the DXF file for the drawing. So anything past that, taking it to like send, cut, send, or just your local plasma or something, you're going to be required or responsible for coming up with the file for the actual part to be cut. But the part drawing I'm going to provide, and the link's in the description below my website. You can download it there. Let's take a look at the transmission in here and see what is needed to be done to mount this to the transmission. Okay, so stock T5 transmission, you can see a little bit of a hatchet job there at the bottom. That's not super clean, and I'm going to clean that up before I put it back in the car. But that is required to fit this this mount. Just a little bit of trimming there. That part of the transmission is not something that's necessarily needed or used in application that we run it. But here's why I needed that. You see that? So when this mounts up, you can see it's pretty close in there, and you can get away with a better job of trimming than I did, but you can see that little clearancing there is needed. Anyways, that mount is just a standard rubber mount for a C4, T5 or whatever, and then mounting this to the transmission allows to use the factory pickup points underneath the car. You will be required to clearance the car for the shifter tunnel. It's going to protrude into the car a little bit, but the way I have it set up, it should give you about 3 degrees tail shaft down. So 3 degrees nose of the engine up, tail shaft down 3 degrees, which is kind of what the car came with from the factory. So it works real well. Okay, there's the transmission mount from the front. I don't know if you can see it with that light, but that's it right there.
That's where it sits. I'll show you from the bottom side where it mounts and how it looks.
This is using the factory cross member underneath the car, factory pickup points, and in my car with my engine mounts, it puts the tail shaft at a 3 degree downslope. Now that may be different on yours. You may want to shim up the pad where it mounts to get the transmission at whatever angle you need it at for your rear end, if your pinion angle is not adjustable. So it utilizes all the factory stuff, and let me show you the hole I had to open up. I did have to cut that cross member there, but I plated it all in and reinforced that area there. But that's the hole that I had to open up. Let me show it to you from the inside. And that's how much of a hole I opened up on the inside of the car. Now it doesn't need to be that big. but mine is that big. So part number 2 for this video is the bead roller bracket. Let's take a look at that. Okay, here's the bead roller and the bracket that I made for it. Let's see if I can get the exposure right. So this bracket, it picks up the factory mounting points of the rollers on the back side of the bead roller, and it's slotted for adjustability. It's way more slotting than you'll need, but it's there. And this side picks up the factory mounting holes for the 2,500 pound ATV winch that you can get from Harbor Freight. And you'll see that right now, like mine, looks like it sits crooked. That's not because of the mount. That's actually because of the quality of the winch. The guts or the insides of the winch are not straight with the motor. That's what you get for a $25 winch. But anyways, this actually works real well. The only big modification you'll need to do is, you can see here, you will have to weld the splined input, or I guess that would be, yeah, input shaft into the winch. You'll have to cut that off and weld it to the bead roller. I just tigged it up, worked fine. And yeah, so that's the main thing that people have been asking about is, how did you attach that to the bead roller? And this is how I did it. My plate here, let's see, where do we get it? My plate here onto the bead roller. Again, file is going to be available for download. Check the link in the description below to my website. All right, guys, 2020 has been terrible, but you made it. Almost made it. We got a couple days left. So what I want to do to kind of brighten everybody's last few days of 2020, if you want these files, I'm going to link I'm not going to link it, I'm actually going to send it to you, a drawing, a technical drawing, and a DXF file of the part itself. So you will receive a technical drawing and part for that, and a technical drawing and part for my transmission mount for my Falcon. So if you want those and you're watching this video before January 1, 2021, drop your email in the comments and I will send those to you, no charge. If you're after 2021, link in the description to my website, for sale, still super cheap. Get them if you need them. Thanks, guys. Peace.